Sarah Palin isn't closing the door on a bid for the White House. She said it's not too late for her to get involved in the race for Republican nomination. I saw that Newt fell a couple of points.
Yes.
No.
You're not going to talk about this?
I'm sorry, Jared. I'm sorry. Oh, we almost went there.
You're not going to talk about this?
No, we're not talking about the
You're not joining the Ron Paul revolution? Ron Paul skyrockets to first place in Iowa? And yet again, I see the headline on Yahoo that Newt Gingrich loses some traction and Mitt Romney benefits. Who the hell's the number 2 that you're ignoring there, Yahoo?
Yep.
I'm not even going to vote. I gave up on Ron Paul in 2008, and even I'm irate over this right now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but he's been played like that. His whole career, he's been thought of as a joke. He wasn't going to be able to get the slot no matter what he did. They thought he was going to run until he died. So, I'm of the opinion that the reason Paul has run so many times is just to collect money, each time for his campaign.
What? This is only the 3rd time. He ran in the late 80s.
Okay.
Didn't give it a go until, again, 2008, and then he did so well. Might as well try it again. Well, he did. He did pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, I was almost going to vote for him, but obviously he didn't get the nomination.
Yeah.
Oh, I was all about Ron Paul in 2008. I just can't get into it this year. I just know that whatever the phrase is, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't happening, people. Like, the script is already written. I mean, America's going down, our dollar's going to collapse, Euro's going to collapse. I mean,
we're done.
We're cooked. Ron Paul going in there as one man, sure, I believe he might be legit. I believe he's the real deal. But him in there wouldn't change anything. He would still be fighting against a Congress that wouldn't get anything done.
I think if they brought Paul in there as president, he'd really create some change, some shake-up. Going away from this left-right paradigm.
It would obviously be nice to hear him speak some common sense to people, but I think that's all you would get. If Ron Paul won the presidency, that's all you get is
a lot of talking.
He'd say, listen, this is the truth, and this is what's going on, this and that, and
we have to get out of the war.
Yeah. And I promise you, before he could pull one contractor troop out of Iraq, because lest you forget, we still have tons of contractors in Iraq. We're not out. The war is not over.
There's still war during Christmas.
What do you think about this that was just recommended on the live stream over here? Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris? Actually, I'm kind of out on Chuck Norris. I think
with maybe Mike Huckabee as the vice president.
Chuck Norris is a complete idiot. Have you seen his World of Warcraft commercial? Anytime you do a World of Warcraft commercial, your career is pretty much done.
Oh, I think his career has been done, and that's what's pretty.
He had a little bit of the resurgence with all these Chuck Norris jokes.
But that's not his career. That's pop culture.
He became
references.
He became a meme for a while, which is more than he was before. He hadn't seen that much amount of press since Sidekicks came out with the dearly departed.
What was that kid's name?
The dearly departed.
Jonathan.
Something like that.
Jonathan
Stewart.
That kid was gonna be somebody, okay?
And then he hung himself.
Was that an autoerotic asphyxiation death, or was that just a hanging?
I think he wanted to die. I think there was some suicide ideas behind that.
Ooh, can I go off on a tangent real quick? Somebody on my Facebook just posted the I won't mention the high school that we both went to, but the high school that we went to apparently has a Facebook or a website where they mention all the notable deaths and how people died.
Well, I think I've seen that.
Based on the years, and I went back to the year that I graduated, and we had the most out of any of the surrounding years. Where there was like 8 deaths.
Wow.
Already, from car accident to I think there were 2 or 3 suicides.
So you better count your blessings, Jer. That year looks heavy on the death and your chances.
Hey, don't think I don't think about every time I start up my car that when I was in, as I'm sure every driver's ed class did, I was in driver's ed and they're like, 15 people in this class are going to be dead. You're going to die in a car accident.
Yeah.
5 people in here are going to die in the next 3 years. You're like, oh my God.
and people wondered why it took me so long to start driving. You know, I didn't start driving until I was 2021.
Do you want to explain that live on the show? Why the hell that was?
I wasn't ready to shoulder the responsibility of that great power.
I don't think you still are.
I think I'm better now than I was after I got into that major accident a couple of years ago on the tollway.
Where you got spinned around, didn't you?
My truck actually went up in the air and then it fell down.
Oh my God, you're out of control.
So after that, I've really taken driving seriously.
Wow.
And I won't be lighting. I haven't lit a cigarette with a match ever since. So
oh my God.
I did learn my lesson. I was gonna be one of those numbers on that website.
Well, just try not to light a cigarette with a match while masturbating ever again.
I wasn't masturbating at the time.
That's not what your police report said. We can move on if you want.
But when they pulled my body out of the car, my cock was hanging out, unfortunately. It was very embarrassing.
You were trying to autoerotic asphyxiate yourself and light a cigarette with a match at the same time?
That's definitely not a good idea, especially on the North Dallas tollway.
My favorite Eddie driving story is little breaking down of the fourth wall here. Eddie and I used to live together back in the day.
Yeah.
We used to, I think we went through 3 different apartments.
We did. New apartment every year. Mm-hmm. Shows the indecisiveness of Jeremiah. I just wanted to stay there the whole time. I never wanted to leave, but yeah, I had to find a new apartment every month, every year.
But our apartment that featured Section 8 housing that had somebody come walking in through my bedroom window one night. My fault for leaving the window open, trying to catch a breeze, but who wouldn't be invited to just come walking in? But one night, Eddie and I went to go get some Subway, and
I don't remember this.
It was literally on the exact same street that we lived on. We lived right here. We drove up the street past like 3 stoplights to go to Subway. We pull out of the parking lot. Eddie starts heading down the opposite direction. I go, dude, we live right there. Eddie has no sense of direction.
No, that's one thing. I'm lucky to have these smartphones with navigation now. I'm able to find myself if I do get horribly lost again.
Good Lord. If it wasn't for these smartphones, Eddie would be the next Christopher Hitchens.
One time I went to see a friend of mine downtown, and I drove the opposite direction for about 20-30 minutes before I stopped and asked somebody if I was going the right way.
Why you were in Mexico?
Yeah. So... Did you have your eye on the box office this week, Jeremiah?
I always have my eye on the box
office. Yes.
Oh, the box office. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't.
No, a new movie debuted at number 1. 2 new movies debuted this week: Sherlock Holmes and Mission Impossible. Any guesses as to what was?
Are you serious? I am anxiously awaiting both of those movies.
Any guess to which one was number 1 this week? Uh-oh.
I'm in the championship.
You've done it?
With 2 field goals, I am now in the championship in my Fantasy Football League 2011-12 season!
And if you win the championship, how much money do you get?
It's either $600 or $800.
It's going to be a nice payday.
So if I can pull off another win next week, let me just tell you what I've done. This, minus the tie that I had 2 weeks ago, and believe me, that tie was bullshit because I forgot to start with the right defense. I picked up a defense for that week and I didn't put them in. If it wasn't for that, and if I had played Michael Crabtree, as Deion Sanders would like to say,
a phone was ringing.
It would not have even been close. So technically, I should have won, I think, the last 7 games in a row. I am on a freaking roll here. I started out the season 2-6. And now I'm in the championship game. As I said, I am the New York Giants of several years ago. I'm the number 6 seed taking on the number 1 seed. And I am not afraid because I have been outscoring everybody lately. Loran Robinson, Phillip Rivers, who's doing nothing, Wes Welker.
Rivers has actually done a lot better in the last half of the year. Than
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. Hernandez had a great game this past weekend.
David Akers, who just put me over the top just now.
All right.
Motherfucker, I'm excited.
That's right. So what's your guess as far as what the number 1 movie was this past weekend?
Well, that's a lot of heartthrob at the box office. You got Tom Cruise, Jude Law,
and
I think Iron Man.
Yeah. I think Robert Downey Jr. is definitely one of the top. I don't know why Robert Downey Jr. gets so much attention from the ladies.
All right, Eddie, who's the hottest of those 3 that I just mentioned?
Who was that? Jude Law. Jude Law is definitely the hottest of those three.
You're right. It was Jude Law. That's the correct answer.
Nice.
I saw on TMZ today the before and after 1992 Tom Cruise and the 2011 Tom Cruise. The dude is like twice as hot here in 2011 than he was in 1992. How the hell he's stayed as good looking as he has?
Scientology, right?
I'm going to convert to Scientology today.
It's all those placentas he's eaten over the years.
Might be.
Yep.
Those alien placentas.
So, Mission Impossible or Sherlock Holmes, which was number one?
It was both sequels. I'm gonna go with the double heartthrob Sherlock Holmes. Mission Impossible 3.
Mission Impossible was number 2.
Shit.
So Sherlock Holmes was number 1. Made $40 million this weekend. I heard the movie isn't as great as the first one. I've heard some bad reviews for it. Did you like the first one?
I liked the first one a lot. It actually made me go out and buy the
Blu-ray?
I bought all the stories. The freaking book that's like this thick with the print like that little. And I read all the Sherlock Holmes stories because I liked the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie's better than the book, buddy. The movie's better than the book, buddy.
Did the first one feature Moriarty?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. From my recollection of that story, because that was like halfway through, and then apparently O'Doyle was done, and then they, readers forced him to come bring the story back and bring Sherlock Holmes back to life.
They tied him to a chair and told him he actually has to write the next few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They, I believe it was a showdown, like there was like an embankment or something that goes out to this hill or mountain, whatever, and they walked up that way, and what's his name, Watson was standing guard, and he only saw Moriarty come back or something like that. But yeah, Holmes and Moriarty showed off by this cliff, and it was believed that Sherlock Holmes went for a tumble.
So that was the hot news story back in the day. Is did Sherlock Holmes die? Was that on the cover of the National?
No, he was dead, and then and then they insisted that he come back, and so then they had to do the whole. And then I think that was when Watson was taking a shower, and they saw that he was still. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I think I'm mixing up my stories here. But
hey, it sounds very familiar to Dallas.
Yeah.
So I guess literary devices hasn't really evolved over the past millennium. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah. So they brought him back. So that's good news for that. I want to see that movie. I want to see both movies. Is it the Dubai World's Tallest Building that he's in Mission Impossible 3 that Tom Cruise is jumping around on?
I have no idea. I know he posted a picture of him standing on top, the highest point on that building, to his Twitter page.
Oh,
or something
for real?
Like that. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
Power Scientology, lets you achieve anything.
Yeah.
That and baby placentas.
That's wild stuff, man.
If a baby placenta was fried, would you consider eating it? I heard that at the state fair, right?
I certainly would.
Yeah, at the state fair they're having 5 placentas this year. Breaking news. Would. Yeah.
Again, I mean.
So yeah, Mission Impossible only made $13 million this past weekend compared to the shocking numbers from Sherlock Holmes.
Mission Impossible only made $13 million.
Yeah.
I'm very saddened by that.
Yeah.
I'm sad because I like the movies. I don't care on the other term side because Tom Cruise is out of his mind.
He is
nuts and psycho.
My movie to watch out for, Shame.
Shame
made $307,000 this weekend in its third week, so that's tearing up the charts.
From Michael what?
Michael Fassbender over.
Michael Fassbender over.
Yes. Noted X-Men star Magneto.
Bender over.
Yes.